सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। So, we are doing that. It's not right to say that there is no part of Veda which talks about Brahma Vidya, which talks about knowledge. We can't say that the whole Veda talks only about rituals. We can't say the whole Veda talks about rituals, because there is also a part of Veda which talks about self-knowledge. Whereas the Purvapakshi takes the stand that there is no Veda Bhaga talking about self-knowledge. But what about Vedanta? So according to him, Vedanta, even though it talks about Brahman, still the purpose of the description of Brahman is only to facilitate a mental ritual, a mental worship. So this particular stand taken by the Purvapakshi is wrong, because we say the kind of description that is given of Brahman is something else. It has nothing to do with Upasana. It's like saying it is free. Neti neti. So the self is free from the form. How can you do Upasana? The form is necessary for Upasana. Here the Vedanta is saying the self is free from the form, is free from time, is free from space, form, thought, it is free from creation, free from the universe, and it is not other than you. None of these statements really is useful for doing Upasana. None of these descriptions, you see, that the Atma is free from the form, doesn't facilitate Upasana. That it is free from time, that it is not an object of thought, that it is not thought, that it is not other than you. Which of these statements really is free from causation, and it is free from law of karma? All these statements do not facilitate Upasana. They are meant to make man think and discover himself as the formless, form-free, thought-free, time-free, space-free, pure being. And therefore, to say that there is no Veda Bhaga talking about Brahma Vidya is only Sahasamatram. He is going to say, Bhagavan is going to say, it is a mere bravado. It is only Sahasamatram. Neti neti te Atma iti Atma Shabdat. So Atma Shabda is used, and Atma Shabda is Swarupam. One's own Swarupam is Atma. And Atmanascha Pratyakyatum Ashakyatva. And it's not possible to deny, it's not possible for anybody to deny his own existence. Atmanascha Pratyakyatum Ashakyatva. Pratyakyatum means to refute, to deny. It's not possible for anybody to deny or refute the existence of oneself. Why? Yeva nirakarta tasyaiva atmatvat. The one who denies Yayeva nirakarta. The one who denies himself is Atma. You see, Bhagavan doesn't even say that it is the Swarupam of Nirakarta. Atma is the Swarupam of Nirakarta. Also he doesn't say. He says the one who denies is none other than Atma. Misunderstood. The one who says I am not there, himself is the Atma. The one who says there is no Atma is the Atma. The one who says there is no God, himself is the Atma. And himself is the topic. And therefore, the undeniable, the most undeniable and the irrefutable, unresolvable, well, that being, one's own existence, the subject in relation to which alone there can be world, there can be negation of the world, without relating to which really you can't think of the world or even its absence. The very thought, no thinking is possible without presupposing this self. And therefore, that self being the topic of Vedanta, well, you can't say there is no Veda Bhaga talking about Brahma Vidya. Up to that we have seen. Nanu Atmam Aham Pratyaya Vishayatvat Upanishad Sveva Vijñāyate iti anupapannam. So, here a small question arises. If Vedanta is talking about Atma, then Atma is known to us. Atma means oneself, and oneself is known. Nanu Atma. What is this Atma? Oneself. And how is it known? Aham pratyaya vishayatvat. It's an object of one's own thought. So just as the world, I think, is an object of my thinking, my own existence also is an object of my thinking. Just as I objectify the world, I also objectify myself as an individual. Therefore, I know myself. What is there more about me? So I know the world and I know myself. Therefore, aham pratyaya vishayatvat, being the object of, being the sense of the I thought. The felt I, the sense of the felt I is Atma. So everybody says me. That word me, whatever is the sense of that word me is Atma. And the sense of the word me is known to everybody. The sense of the word I is known to everybody. That is why he is able to refer to that sense by the word me. It is that sense, felt sense. It is that felt thing that is referred to by a word me, aham. Therefore, aham pratyaya vishayatvat, being an object of one's own thinking. So I am not, my existence is not beyond the realm of my thought. Like the world is not beyond the realm of my thinking, just as the world is not outside the realm of my perception, my own existence also is not outside the realm of my perception. And therefore, I know myself. So how can it be, how can you say it is something that is unfolded only in Vedanta? Therefore, aham pratyaya vishayatvat Upanishatsu eva, only in the Upanishads, Vijñāyate is understood, iti anupapannam, this is untenable. Upanishatsu eva Vijñāyate, only in the Upanishads it's unfolded, only in the Upanishads it is understood. This particular statement is not tenable. Why? Because even before one goes to the Upanishads, one knows oneself as an object of his own thinking. As an individual, everybody knows his individual. Everybody knows himself to be the I. Everybody refers to himself as the I, the me, the me, the me, the me. So the me is felt even before one goes to the Upanishads. Therefore, how can you say that the Atma is something that is evident, or it is made evident, or it is unfolded, or it is made known only in the Upanishads? How can you say Atma is known only through the Vedanta? Because even without the Vedanta, everybody knows his own existence as me. A very big point. The self is, this is going to be very handy for us. This objection. That means what? Independent of any pramana is evident. Bas. Independent of Vedanta pramana, it is evident. The me is evident. It is anubhava siddham. But then why do you have to, if it is evident even before one goes to Vedanta, then why should one go to Vedanta? Bhashyakara says, the evident individuality, when man says me, he doesn't mean the unlimited me. He only feels me as a form. This is called aham pratyaya vishayatvam. Me as an individual. Me as a form. Me as born. Me as subject to death. Me as hungry, thirsty. Me as the perceiver, seer, hearer, taster, toucher, smell. Me as rememberer. Me as the doer. Me as the enjoyer. Me as the rememberer. Me as the forgetter. Me as an individual, a mortal, insignificant individual. This is known, but that is not me. That is the error about the me. And the error about the me also has to be felt as me, because it is the me, the truth, that is felt as an individual. Let us not say the me is individuality. The me is the truth felt as an individual conscious being, a limited conscious being. That limitedness of the conscious being, the individuality of the conscious being, is not what we refer to as Atma. Atma we refer to, what is it? The actual me that is misunderstood as the form, the actuality of that individual me. And that is why here Bhashyakara says, Nam, can read, Nam, Tat Sakshitvenam, Pratyuktatvat. So the Siddhanti says, my dear sir, your statement that the Atma is well known even before one goes to Vedanta, it is already known. Atma is already known by everybody as me, even before one goes to Vedanta. So this particular statement is wrong. Why? Because the subject matter of Vedanta is not individuality. The subject matter of Vedanta is the Sakshi of the individuality. Tat Sakshitvena. Atma as the witness of the individuality. The truth is not the individuality. The truth is the Sakshi of the individuality. And the Sakshi has to be understood. That which knows the presence and absence. That has to be brought in. Otherwise, Sakshitva has no meaning. It is not merely the knower of the presence. If I know only the presence of something, and if I don't know the absence of it, then I am not a Sakshi. I am seeing it, and therefore I am Sakshi. No. To see its presence and to see its absence. That is the connotation of Sakshi. Sakshi means number one connotation of Sakshi is that which sees both bhavam and abhavam of everything, the whole existence, which sees the universe, which also sees the negation of it. Deep sleep state is seeing the negation of universe. See, that which sees time and sees the absence of freedom from it, negation of it. Which sees the mind and sees the negation of the mind. Which sees life, which sees the negation of it. which sees the body, which also sees negation of it. Unless one seriously draws one's own attention to this particular definition of the Sakshi, the thinking will be ubadkhaba. It will not strike. It will not strike. The profundity of what is said by Vedanta cannot be understood unless the word Sakshi is understood in its right connotation. Bhava and abhava. Is not man liberated in understanding the Sakshitva? Is not man liberated if I can understand that I am the witness of the presence of the mind and also the absence of the mind? That means the absence of the mind is not zero. The mind resolves. Then what obtains there? When there is no mind, what obtains, what remains is not shunyam, is not vacuum, is not emptiness. It is the very seer of the absence of the mind. Therefore, it is my knowledge. When the mind is, it is my knowledge. When there is no mind, it is again our knowledge. That means there is no negation for the Sakshi. If the Sakshi has negation, then to see the negation of the Sakshi, there has to be another Sakshi who should see the presence and absence of the first Sakshi. And if the first Sakshi, its presence as well as the absence are known by another Sakshi, then the first Sakshi would not be Sakshi. It would be an object. And therefore, when the Shastra says it means that it is Sakshi, that is, the truth is the witness of time and its negation, world and its negation, body and its negation. Thus it is the Sakshi of all the Bhavam and Abhavam. This is one connotation. The second connotation is seeing the world and its negation. For that it does not depend upon any pramanam. Saksha dikshate. I mean, to see time, it doesn't depend upon time. It doesn't depend upon any the senses. Independent of the senses, it perceives the world. Independent of the senses, it also knows the world. You cannot perceive the absence of the world. You can't really experience the deep sleep state through the senses. Nobody experiences deep sleep through the senses. Nobody experiences fast asleep, and when you recapitulate, you remember your own deep sleep, and then you can't say, how did you experience? With what senses? Did you have eyes? No. There were no eyes, no ears. So the very negation of the senses is one's experience. So the negation of the senses, if it is one's experience, then that experience is not gained through another set of senses. So these things are the points of reflection. They are not ordinary things. It is solving the problem of the jiva. And therefore here, Bhashyakara says, my dear sir, well, what is known before you enter Vedanta is only the sense of individuality. The Sakshi is not known. The individuality is known. And that is why one says, what is one says, I appear, I disappear. That is what is known to you. You know yourself as subject to appearance and disappearance. You don't know yourself as the non-disappearing, the never-disappearing witness of all that appears and disappears. That's not known. And therefore this particular question raised by the Purva-Pakshi elsewhere, and even here also, it has already been pratyuktatvat, it has already been answered. Tat sakshittvena pratyuktatvat. I have already answered this question that what is known about oneself is only an error about oneself. What is known before one goes to Vedanta, what all one knows about oneself is only a confusion about oneself, a distortion about oneself, not oneself as it is. And therefore one's own actuality is also evident. In day-to-day life, you see, the problem is conclusions are evident, the anubhava also is evident. Within the waking state, one says, I appear and disappear. But what are his experiences? He experiences, his experience says he doesn't appear and disappear. He only sees the appearance of the waking, disappearance of it, appearance of the dream and disappearance of that dream. Then he says the waking has a beginning and an end. What does it mean? The one who sees the beginning and end of the waking has no beginning and end. The one who sees the beginning and end of thought doesn't have beginning and end. And that is also, one does know the beginning and end of the mind. The one who knows the beginning and end of the mind, experiencing the beginning and end of the mind amounts to experiencing oneself as the knower of the beginning and end of the mind. That means it amounts to experiencing one's presence with the presence of the mind and with the negation of the mind. Is it not anubhava? If it is not anubhava, then what is it? If a person takes a stand, I only experience the beginning and end of the mind, but I don't experience my continuity. What is this? I say to experience the beginning and end of mind means to experience one's continuity. And therefore, well, sir, I have already answered this great question of yours by saying that what is known to man, before he understands himself, before he goes into Vedanta, what he knows himself is only aham pratyaya vishayatvam, individuality, and the truth is the sakshi. One's identity as an individual is false, whereas one's identity as the witness is the truth. Nahi aham pratyaya vishayam kartri vyatirekena. अच्छी तरह से पढ़िए. कर्तृ व्यतिरेकेण तत्साक्षी सर्वभूतस्थः समः एकः कूटस्थ नित्यः पुरुषः विधिकाण्डे तर्कसमये वा केनचित् अधिगतः सर्वस्य आत्मा अतः स न केनचित् प्रत्याख्यातुं शक्यः विधिशेषत्वं वा नेतुं. So here he says, nahi aham pratyaya vishaya kartri vyatirekena. Accept the jiva as a jiva. Aham pratyaya vishaya kartri vyatirekena. Accept the person. We have karma kanda. These are two important things. One is karma kanda, where is also shabda is a pramanam in the matter of the causation that extends not only to this life, but, well, it's even other lives. So in karma kanda is otherwise called vidhi kanda. Now in this karma kanda, what is the one who is talked to, the one who is talked about, the one who is talked to, and the one who is talked about is only aham pratyaya vishaya kartru, meaning this individual with lot of desires, who looks at himself as an object of his own thought, who looks at himself as a form, bas. So this individual who has got lot of desires, well, he wants to fulfill his desires, and he wants to take the help of the rituals also. So he wants to take the help of his own knowledge, And also he wants to his own effort, but also he wants to take the help of the rituals. And there in Karma Kanda, all that is addressed is this Jiva. All that the Karma Kanda takes interest in is, well, how to help this individual to fulfill his material desires. How to help him to fulfill his material desires for the material objects. Therefore, not only the student, there the student is the individual, the subject matter also is the individual, just to help him fulfill his desires. So, accept this. Aham pratyaya vishaya kartru vitirekena. Accept this individual being talked to. Accept this individual being helped in fulfilling his desires here and hereafter. Tat Sakshi. The Sakshi of the individuality, the witnessing self, Sarvabhutastaha, the all-pervasive self, Sarvabhuteshu Sthitaha, is called Sarvabhutastaha, Samaha, that which is the same in all, Ekaha, the non-dual self, Kutastha Nityaha, the never-changing self, Purushaha, the being, Vidhikande, in Karmakanda, Tarka Samayeva, or in the realm of logic, in the books of logic, Kenachita Adhigataha, is unknown to anybody. Kenachit kisi ke dwara bhi Adhigataha is known. Neither Karmakanda talks about really the unlimitedness of the self, nor the Tarka Samaya means Tarka Shastram. Tarka Samaya talks about the unlimitedness of the thing. Only two things. One is Shabda Pramanam, the other is Pratyaksha based Anumana Pramanam. That means within the realm of sense perception, I can't see an unlimited self, nor can I use my inferring capacities, my inferring faculties, well, nor can I use my inference and infer some unlimited self. You see, I am the form, therefore I am unlimited, you can't say. What is the basis for the inference? I am the form, therefore I am unlimited. I am the form, therefore I am limited, all right. I am the form, the limited. I am the form, the limited is all right. I am the form, therefore I am unlimited. I see the unlimited world, therefore I am unlimited. Is ab nahi. Inference doesn't work because there is no connection between cause and effect. There is no real causation. Supposing the causal qualities are inherited by the effect, then by looking at the qualities of the effect, I can infer the qualities of the cause. I can analyze the curd and then really figure out what kind of milk it was. Is it cow's milk or buffalo milk or really goat's milk? What is this milk? Or ammonia milk? All that by analyzing if the karanasya gunas, if karana guna is anugata in karya, if karyam has inherited the qualities of the cause, then the analysis of the karya guna can help me infer the gunas of karana. But here, between Brahman, the Chetanam, and the Prapancha, the Jadam, it is not that the Jadam inherits the quality of the Chetanam. So like the Sarpa doesn't inherit the quality of the Rajju. If the Rajju undergoes Parinama, if it were to undergo change and become the Sarpa, then the result of the change has inherited the qualities of the cause. So here there is no transformation, it's my thinking. I am only thinking that it is snake. You see, there is no causation. Here also it is a correctable perception about myself. And therefore there is no Anumana doesn't work. I hope I don't have to go into great details about this. But one thing that is made, the point that is made here is that in Karma Kanda, well, the self as unlimited is not the topic. And in Tarka Samaya, it is not the topic and it can never be the topic. In the books of Tarka, the self as unlimited as Advitiyam not only is not the topic, but also cannot be the topic. Tarka Samayeva Kenachid Adhigataha Sarvasya Atma, the self of all. The self of all is not the topic of Karma Kanda. The truth of what we are is not the topic of Karma Kanda. The truth of what we are, the truth that we are eternal, the truth that we are unlimited, the truth that we are not a form, the truth that we don't begin and end, the truth that we don't disappear. We never disappeared, we never appear. The truth that we never appear and disappear is not the topic of Karma Kanda, is not the topic of the books of logic. And therefore, the Karma Kandis cannot refute it. Therefore, the logicians cannot refute it. Why? That is not the topic of logic. Logic cannot really prove the truth, nor can it disprove the truth. Aji. Similarly, Karma Kanda does not talk about the truth, nor does it talk against the truth. Truth is not the topic. Like the eyes you see do not prove the sound, do not also disprove the sound. Because that is not its realm. It's a different pramana. There is no agreement, there is no disagreement. Ye bahut badi baat hai ji. Because therefore these agreements and disagreements, so we have to reach an agreement, is meaningless. If you reach the agreement, then you part from agreement. Therefore, there is between one pramana, between eyes and ears, there is neither agreement nor disagreement. Between Karma Kanda and Vedanta, there is neither agreement nor disagreement. Between the Pratyaksha-based logic, and Vedanta, there is neither agreement nor disagreement. There is no agreement or disagreement. Uda alag pramana hai ji. Pratyaksha is meant to, my eyes are meant to illumine form. They are not meant to talk about what I am. My eyes can only show me the form. They can't show me what I am. They can't really prove what I am. They can't also disprove what I am. Thus every pramana has got its own realm. That is why here he says, Kenachid adhigataha ataha, therefore, sana kenachid pratyakyatum shakyaha. Therefore it is not possible for anybody to refute what is said by Vedanta. Ataha, therefore, saha atma na kenachit, by nobody, pratyakyatum, to refute, shakyaha is possible. That shakyaha, nakara has to be connected to shakya. It's not possible to refute what is said by Vedanta. Therefore, karmathas cannot refute, logicians also cannot refute. In other words, to put it in general terms, the religious people, the religious fanatics, the real religious theologians, the religious worshippers, and the intellectual philosophers cannot refute what is said by Vedanta, because there are only two zones. The theologians can take a stand against what Vedanta says, and the speculative philosophers, the logical logicians, the pratyaksha-based logic. Therefore, the pratyaksha-based logicians also cannot refute what is said by Vedanta. Why? Because The truth that is talked about doesn't come under the realm of beliefs and logic. And who else is there? Then who else is there to refute? A theologian cannot refute anyway. He can only say, I don't believe in it. He can't refute it. Why? Because even what he believes, he can't prove. What the others believe, he can't refute. He can only believe what he believes and disbelieve what others believe. It's a very real luxury. Nothing, you don't have to do anything. You see, no taxing the brain at all. I believe what I believe and then disbelieve what others believe. And when it comes to the speculative philosophers, but anyway, it doesn't come under that realm also. Purushaha vidikande tarkasamaye va kenachid adhigataha sarvasyatmataha sana kenachid pratyakyatum shakyaha vidiseshatvam va netum. Not only it is not possible for the logicians and the karmakandis to refute what Vedanta says, it is also not possible for the karmakandis to establish a connection between what Vedanta says, the topic, and karma and upasana. Understand? Vidhi seshatvam means, you understand vidhi seshatvam means what? Relation with the vidhi. What is vidhi? Karma. Neither they can refute what Vedanta says, nor can they say that the Brahma Vidya has connection with karma and upasana. Vidiseshatvam va netum. Netum means to establish, to show, to lead, to show a connection between Brahma Vidya and rituals. They can't show any connection between Brahma Vidya and rituals. They can't show any connection between Brahma Vidya and mental rituals or physical rituals. Brahma Vidya is something that is in the form of understanding what one is, not in the form of what one should achieve in the world. Brahma Vidya is not, are able to follow this particular point, somehow or other you have to capture. Brahma Vidya is not related to any ritual or upasana. Meaning ritual is neither a precondition for Brahma Vidya nor the result of Brahma Vidya. Upasana is neither the precondition for Brahma Vidya nor the result of Brahma Vidya. Seshatvam means what? Either way. Neither it is the condition nor it is the result. Neither the rituals, are the preconditions for Brahma Vidya, nor they should be contemporary to Brahma Vidya, nor they are the result of Brahma Vidya. Vidiseshatvam va netum iti. Thus we clinch this particular point. That point is that the topic of Brahma Vidya is something that is there in Veda, and that is called Vedanta, and that what is said in Vedanta has no connection with your rituals, etc., your secular actions or religious actions. It has nothing to do. You can't even say that the Brahma Vidya is meant to facilitate your efficiency, even your action and all that. That is all really distortion. That is all playing to the gallery, please. Just they say to create taste in the minds of the students, you say like this: hey, you study Brahma Vidya so that you will become more efficient. You will become more efficient in your actions, and when you become more efficient in your action, then you will make more money. When you make more money, then you can buy more things. When you buy more things, then you can enjoy more. And therefore, ultimately, Brahma Vidya is meant to enhance your enjoying capacity. You can drink more, you see, etc., etc. You can marry once more. What is there? That is all. That is not the way of creating interest in Vedanta. Say you don't have to create interest in Vedanta. That is wrong. Help them discover help them discover the limitation of all the pursuits they have been. Creating Vairagya naturally drives a person to Vedanta. It is here also, in fact, discerning. This is what you can get. This is what can give you. This world can give you these pleasures. Money can give you sense pleasures. And power can give you a mental kick. All these objects can give you mental pleasures, sensory pleasures. And all of them are non-eternal. But your idea that you are limited will not go. Your idea that you are the form will not go. And as long as that idea that I am the form is there, you are suffering. Even if the whole universe is given to you, and then you are enjoying that universe only with the idea that you are a mortal. And what you are not enjoying the world, you are only suffering that idea. You are only suffering that idea that I am a mortal. And that idea that I am a mortal has to be corrected, and that corrective vision is called Brahma Vidya, and therefore Brahma Vidya would liberate you from the fundamental problem, fundamental wrong idea about yourself, whereas the world can give you pleasures. It is up to you. Thus you have to present the world in its Swarupa and also Brahma Vidya in its Swarupa, then let them decide, rather than creating false interest. Rather than create false interest. Hey, do Karma Yoga. If you do Karma Yoga, it will create efficiency. Efficiency will bring you more money, and more money will make you greater enjoy. Then afterwards he will come back and tell you, Swamiji, aapne kaha tha, Karma Yoga will create more efficiency. In fact, this year I have lost so much of money. Ultimately it will come back, because you only said to create efficiency. In fact, Karma Yoga doesn't create efficiency, it will create mental peace. Because our requirement is not just efficiency everybody has. It is not that. What we require is to be active peacefully, not to be active efficiently. What is efficiency? To do an action peacefully, I think, is the greatest efficiency. That is the real kaushala. Okay. Vidiseshatmam vanetum atmatvadevacha. हाँ बढ़िए. आत्मत्वादेवचा सर्वेषां न हेयः नापि उपादेयः. Atmatvadevacha, the Sakshi, the being that experiences the universe, that also experiences the freedom from the universe, that experiences the dream, that also experiences the freedom from the dream, that being the very Swarupa of every Jiva, that is the actual identity of every oneself. When a person says me, that me is the Sarvasakshi. That Sarvasakshi is taken as a form, and then he says, I begin and end. He is all the time experiencing the beginning and end. He is experiencing the beginning and end of everything. He is experiencing the beginning and end of everything. When everything ends, he thinks that is the end of himself also. So there is a certain lack of recognition of the basic being, and therefore, well, here he says, the Atmatvadeva, the Sakshi being one's own identity. Sarvesham, being the actuality of everybody. Sarvesham Atmatvadeva. Sabka Atma hone ke karan se, sabka Swarup hone ke karan se, na heyaha, you can't get rid of it. Napi upadeyaha, you don't have to reach it. Na heyaha, I can't lose it. Napi upadeyaha, I don't have to gain it. You see, this is a very big point. Because man always works along these two lines. To get what I don't have, and to get rid of what I have. I have something which makes me unhappy, I want to get rid of. Either I am trying to get rid of something which I don't like, or I am trying to get something which I like. What else are human pursuits? What else is a pravritti, nivritti is nothing but this. What I like, I go after it. What I don't like, I try to get rid of it. Just if you closely look at life, really closely look at life, really man cannot just, as an individual, he just doesn't know what else to do except pravritti and nivritti. It is not that he has to decide to have pravritti, nivritti. He doesn't have to make any decision. Why? Because unwittingly, he doesn't have to make any effort. As just in swabhavikam, so effortlessly, an individual can only have pravritti and nivritti, trying to get an object which he likes, trying to get rid of an object which he doesn't like. And therefore going after a thing is called pravritti, and trying to get rid of a thing is called nivritti. Human beings are involved in pravritti, nivritti. And what about the animals? Pravritti, nivritti. Pravritti, nivritti, what is the big difference? You can't say human civilization alone is a civilization. Because the whole civilization only boils down to pravritti, nivritti. And what are the animals doing? Pravritti, nivritti. And if you look at it very closely, nothing great about it. That is why Bhagavan, very, very, without much ado, Bhagavan says, Pashvadi Vishchadi Sesha. Very casually, human beings are the same as animals, he says. Haji. In the matter of pravritti, nivritti. And this particular thing has been really made into a big issue by somebody a few years ago. Shankaracharya ji doesn't even understand the difference between human beings and animals, and he is believed to have said that human beings are like animals. That means he doesn't seem to understand the difference, the glory of human beings. And they are called our national great, leaders. Understand? It's like one of our governors saying, Sanskrit is a pichudon ka bhasha hai, usko chodo, ab Angrezi sikho. Therefore, how can he have problems? Therefore, here, what is said is, my dear sir, what is said here is that human beings, not only human beings, all jivas in the Srishti, they can only think in terms of, and talk in terms of, and work in terms of achieving a thing that they like and getting rid of a thing that they don't like. Pravritti, nivritti ke siva, which hide. And truth must be just contrary to it. Truth must not be an object of my pravritti, an object of my nivritti. And therefore, as not an object of pravritti, nivritti, truth is called na heyaha, na upadeya. Is it not an unfoldment? Is it not an unfoldment? Which statement in the Shastra is not an unfoldment? What is it that doesn't touch a thinking man? If a person is a very close thinker, I tell you, every statement is unfoldment. Astonishing, a very, very beautiful, clear, vivid unfoldment. Because my whole pursuit, my whole effort is only to achieve something or to get rid of something. Here is the truth which I don't have to achieve, I can't also get rid of. I have to only recognize the truth that is always there. If it is pravritti vishayam, it would also become nivritti vishayam. What can become a pravritti vishayam? There is no absolute pravritti vishayam, nor absolute nivritti vishayam. What can become an object of my love can also become an object of hate tomorrow. Likes and dislikes keep changing. But truth cannot become an object of love and hate. In that sense, God is free from likes and dislikes. That is another definition of likes and dislikes. God is not an object of likes and dislikes, nor is He the subject of likes and dislikes. And therefore, sarvesham na heyaha na upadeyaha sarvam hi vinashyat vikarajatam purushantam vinashyati sarvam hi vinashyat. Vinashyat is shatru pratyaya. All that is subject to resolve. All that is subject to resolve. Vinashyat. Sarvam hi vinashyat. Divadigat. All that resolves, all that is subject to resolve, vikara jatam, the creation, this world, this body, this mind, this is called vikara jatam, vikara samuham. Vinashyat, resolving. Purushantam vinashyati. It resolves right up to Purusha. All that resolves unto Purusha. All that resolves up to the Purusha means unto the Purusha. It is abhividhi. Purush ko chhod ke. Everything resolves up to Purusha means what? Leaving out Purusha. And therefore it is better to translate, all that resolves unto Purusha. But that Purusha doesn't resolve. Sarvam hi vinashyat vikara jatam, sarvam vikara jatam vinashyat. विनाश होते हुए सारी दुनिया विनाश होते हुए आत्मा तक विनाश होता है, आत्मा में विनाश होता है, लेकिन आत्मा का विनाश नहीं होता है. सर्वं विनश्यत, सर्वं विकार जातम विनश्यत, वेल पुरुषांतम विनश्यत. पुरुषः विनाश हेत्वभावात् अविनाशी विक्रिया हेत्वभावाच्च कूटस्थ नित्यः अतएव नित्य शुद्ध बुद्ध मुक्त स्वभावः. पुरुषः विनाश हेतु अभावात् अविनाशी. पुरुषः अविनाशी. Whereas the being, see, understand now, the word Purusha is used by the Shastra in which sense? Purusha is always used in the sense of the being. The being, the Purnaha. And therefore, Purusha, one is a Vishayaha, and the subject is Purusha. Purusha Shabda is discerning the Atma from the Vishaya. The contrast is between these two words. What are they? Purusha and Prakriti. Prakriti means Vishaya. I am not interested in the word Prakriti. Vishaya is good enough. Purusha, the being. In contrast to? The being is being in contrast to the Vishaya. Not. The object is not a being, it is a thing. This world is a thing. The one who sees it is the being. Conscious being. Some word has to, any word that can bring about some understanding in the student is the word. The being. The conscious being. And therefore, Purushaha Avinashi is imperishable. Imperishable means it can't resolve. it can't resolve. Creation can resolve unto the source, but Purusha is not a creation and therefore it can't resolve. Why it can't resolve? Vinasha hetu abhava. There is no reason for him to resolve. Because resolution also is determined by certain reason. That it is a creation is the reason for its being available for resolution. That is called hetu. That is, pot is a creation and that becomes the hetu, the reason for its being subject to resolution unto the source. Purusha has no reason to resolve. Why? What should be the Purusha doesn't have the reason to resolve. Why? Because Purusha is not a creation. And therefore our existence is not a creation. We are not created. Our being is not created. It is not creation. Things are creations in the being, all right. Maya Srishti, the universe is a creation in the Purusha, but Purusha himself is not a creation, and therefore Vinasha hetu abhavat Purushaha avinashi is free from resolution. Vikriya hetu abhavacha, because there is no reason why you should change. The reason for change is not there. Because the reason for the change also is, it has to be a physical thing in time. It should be a created thing in time, then alone it can change. What is in time can change, but Purusha is not in time because it's not a thing in time. Therefore, even time also is a Maya Srishti in the Purusha. Time is a creation in the being, and the forms are creations in the being, whereas the being is not a creation, and therefore is not in time. That is the hetu. Purusha is not in time. That means our existence is not in time. And therefore the idea that I am in time is not true to the fact. I am in time. I have come in time. I am in time. I will disappear in time. This whole thing is what? It is not true to the experienced fact. It is not that it is not true to the fact that is going to be evident later on. It is not true to one's experience. And therefore, because when a person closes his mind, really definitely is as Sushupta is not in time. As the experiencer of the waking, dream and sleep is not in waking time or dream time. As the witness of the three states is not inside any waking time or dream time. And therefore, because our existence is not in time, therefore it is not subject to change. That is why Vikriya hetu abhavacha kutastha nityaha. It is changelessly eternal. Kutastha means changeless. Kutavat tishthatiti. Kutavat tishthatiti kutasthaha. Nityaha. This particular kutastha nityaha, this particular phrase is in contrast to the phrase parinami nityaha, meaning continuity. Continuity in time with all the changes. This is also a point to be remembered. Otherwise, most of the people when they think about forever, ever, it is nothing but continuity in time. Freedom from time, utna tak dimag nahi jayega. If a human being straight from the earth, if he goes to even a great loka called Brahmaloka, wahan par bhi unka confusion, even though it is a great loka, he can only think about the continuity in time, not in between, halfway, while going to Brahmaloka, on the way if he gets some sanskara, then he can think in Brahmaloka as one should think in Brahmaloka. But if he makes a dash to Brahmaloka, he will carry the same mind, he will have the same sanskara, he will say only continuity. That is why before going to Brahmaloka, on the way we have got chettis. This is called chettis. Chettis means what? You know chettis? Chetti means what? Stopover. So you have stopover. On the way you have got so many stopovers. and during that stay at the stopovers, you just need to get over your earthly sanskaras and get some divine sanskaras, so that when you go to Brahmaloka, then you will fit into that Brahmaloka. And therefore, every human being, even though we all use the term eternity, term forever, term always, it all means only parinami nityam, continuity. All theologians also, I am here and I will also be there in heaven. What is he talking? He is only talking about parinami nityam. This is Kutastha Nitya. Atayeva, for this very reason, Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Swabhavaha. Therefore he is Nityaha. He is always there. He is Shuddhaha, and he is always pure. And Buddhaha is ever evident. Don't translate Nitya Buddhaha, ever enlightened. This is another stupid translation. Nitya Buddha does not mean never enlightened, but ever evident. Ever evident. Ever evident to truth. Nitya Shuddha, ever pure, ever evident truth. Mukta, ever free. Ever free. Swabhava, by nature. So what is referring to is the nature. To be eternal is its nature. To be evident is its nature. To be pure is its nature. And to be free is its nature. That means it is ever evident to be unnegatable, conscious. It is ever evident to be conscious and unnegatable, pure and free. Which is what is talked about by Vedanta. That identity, one's identity as the eternal, as the conscious, as unnegatable, as free, as pure, is not recognized by man. That is his actual identity. And when the actual is not recognized, then it is mistaken as oneself as an individual, which is just the opposite of this Swarupa. I am not always there. I am not pure. I am not always evident. I am also not free, etc., etc. Clear? Therefore, Atayeva Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta Swabhavaha. Then comes Tasmat. We will see it later. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnahat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Hari. Ramachandra, Ramachandra, Ramachandra. Is it all a theology? Some religious theology? Hey Rama. Is it a speculative philosophy? Is it a mystical meditation? Is Vedanta a mystical meditation? Theology? Is it an Oriental philosophy? Oriental philosophy? What philosophy Oriental? Vedanta is not qualified as Oriental. Vedanta is a Pramana. Like eyes are not Oriental or Occidental. Eyes are eyes. Similarly, Shabda Pramanam is a Pramanam, not Oriental or Western. सृष्टि के अंदर आएगी प्रमाणास. सृष्टि के अंदर प्रमाणस है, सृष्टि के अंदर प्रमाणस है। उसको ना ओरिएंटल कह सकते हैं ना वेस्टर्न कह सकते हैं। सुनो लिमिट दे विल हैव पुण्य। व्हाई शुड वी डिनाई देम? साधु लोगों को देने से पुण्य मिलता है जी, सबको अपॉर्चुनिटी नहीं मिलता है। देने का पुण्य बहुत बहुत बड़ी बात है। व्हाट इज दिस नथिंग? सन्यासी लोगों को, इफ द गृहस्थास डोंट हेल्प द साधु, देन हु इज गोइंग टू हेल्प? हमारा कोई बिजनेस तो है ही नहीं। पीपल, गृहस्थास हैव टू हेल्प ऑल द साधु, just don't, and they can only they can teach. What is this? भिक्षा है जी, कोई बड़ी। हमको कोई देंगे तो हम कभी मना नहीं करते, मुझसे और भी दे दो। ऑलवेज गिव व्हाट इज देयर। हमारा अधिकार है, साधु लोगों का अधिकार है, हमारा अधिकार है, जितना मर्जी दे दो जी। वी कैन, we have not. What is given is not a problem for us. Whatever is a problem for you, you can give it to us, we will make use of it. देने का भी बहुत पुण्य चाहिए, देने के लिए भी अधिकारी चाहिए, लेने के लिए भी अधिकारी चाहिए, and then even to give also you have to, and you should not take also from an anadhikari, but from our vidyarthis, sadhu, sant, जो भी श्रद्धालु, they become the adhikaris for giving. Supposing if he is an ashraddhalu and if we give something, it is better not to take, otherwise there will always be strings attached. Oh, it will become miserable. I told you once, somebody offered us a lot of money. Somebody offered us a lot of money. One person who went to Dubai, both first, the one who was involved, his wife died and they offered some check. I said no. No, that person? Vinchetta. Vinchetta's wife died. They called me over to give a talk. I said, I'll come and give a talk. It's no problem. So satsanga. Then they offered, they said, we would like to give you some money for your trust. I said, we don't want. I refused. Why? Because वो ठीक नहीं, श्रद्धालुओं से जो पढ़ रहे हैं, श्रद्धालु हैं, उनसे जो मिलता है वो भिक्षा है। समझ गए हैं ना? बाकी लोगों से आएंगे तो वो दंड है, भिक्षा नहीं, वो खतरा है। That's not good. You will lose your health. If you use that money, you will lose your health. And I don't want to lose my health. Health is wealth जी हम लोगों के लिए। हमारा यहाँ पर आने वाले सब श्रद्धालु लोग हैं। देने के लिए भी अधिकारित्व तो चाहिए जी। पात्र देख के देना चाहिए, पात्र देख के लेना चाहिए। हाँ, बहुत जरूरी है, पात्र देख के लेना है। वेदांत पढ़ने वालों के पास लेने में आनंद है, और कौन नहीं। वेदांत पढ़ने वाले भी नहीं देंगे और बाकी लोग तो देंगे ही नहीं, फिर कहां जाएंगे? फिर कहां जाएंगे? Where do we go then? No question about it, not even think about it. कृपा है जी, ईश्वर की कृपा होना चाहिए इवन टू बी एबल टू हेल्प। सुरानुग्रह होना। This give and take has no meaning at all in the light of the topic. Everything fades out. These givings and takings, you understand, give and take, material things, they don't really figure even on the margins of the topic. वो बहिरंग साधन भी नहीं है, वो बहिरंग साधन भी नहीं है, वो साधन के अंदर उसके बारे में वो विषय ही नहीं बनता, उसके बारे में ही नहीं। साधु संतों को कितना सेवा भी करे उसका फल जरूर मिलेगा। Not because we are sadhus and we are trying to inspire you to serve and all that. ऐसा कुछ नहीं। Everything is up to choice. Anyway, Purusha Tantra. It is up to you. But the truth is, that is a statement of fact. साधु संत के प्रति श्रद्धा भक्ति होने से दरिद्रता चले जाती है। ईश्वर की प्रति भक्ति and साधु संत की प्रति श्रद्धा, शास्त्र के प्रति श्रद्धा, so a person becomes वैदिका। इस दरिद्रता, जो भी दरिद्रता होती है ना, वो सारी मेंटल दरिद्रता, फिजिकल दरिद्रता, वो दरिद्रता जाती है। एक नया युग, जीवन में एक नया युग शुरू होता है। समझ गए ना? ओम नमः शिवाय।